Okay, so we mentioned there's some details to add on this area. Turn everything else off. Go to our top view. We're going to duplicate this edge. I'm going to offset it by 5 mil. And then we're going to draw a rectangle 22 by 30. And I'm going to rotate that rectangle down to here. I'm going to mirror it about 0. I'm going to copy and paste it. And I'm going to then mirror about 0. You want these to be relatively even. Okay, that will do for those. We then need to cut a hole to put this handle in. So from here we're going to draw 15 millimeters across. I'm going to draw 8 mil down from here. So don't need that. This is going to offset by 25 mil. Going to mirror this over to the other side. Explode them. Just going to delete these 2 lines away, don't need those. And I'm going to do some trimming. Trim. I'm going to get rid of these in here. And these. And then just trim away these pieces as well. So the handle's going to fit in there. One thing I do want to make sure before I go any further is that the handle for this fits inside. Or that we're not going to affect it with our handle. So we should be fine here from the looks of it. The handle's not going to go that deep. It will clear all of this, no problem. So we're good there. And there's another little detail on the inside of here. Actually, there's also a curve we want to add in. This is where, I guess, where you insert your thumb so you can flick the handle up. Diameter on that, I'm guessing, is about 20, maybe 25. So again, a trim. Get rid of this and this. And then I'm going to join these together. Offset them by 8. Do a center line from 0. So undo. Click our polyline from 0. I'm going to offset this curve by 4 either side. Mirror these curves over about 0. And then just pick all of this, do some more trimming. Get rid of these extra pieces. Actually, these are all not on the same plane now. So picking all our curves, transform, project to C plane, delete the input. Yes. Now we can trim. All these pieces. These are all going to be details that are going to get cut into this area. Okay, so that should now okay, one thing I've just remembered I need to do. It's going to be an angle, and there's a surface that's in here that's angled back, so I just need to do one more thing. Explode this, deselect these 2, join them back together. I'm going to copy this, Control C, Control V, and then move it by 10 mil. And then I actually want to move these by 10 mil as well. And that will become apparent why shortly, because we're going to do a flat trim of this surface, and then we're going to add an angled surface in afterwards. So I just need to trim away all these little bits. And we can join these back together now. Actually need to split this one. So this is going to be the piece we initially cut. Or is it the other way around? So undo that split. Join these together. So now picking our surface and exploding it, we're going to cut this one away. Split with this. And the depth of this handle now, I just need to figure out what that is. So that's going to move down by 18 mil. Picking the surface, move 18. Again, final double check on this here. Where's my surface gone? It's in there somewhere. Unhide. We're still clearing that tray. Even if we had our 2 mil thickness, which we'll need to, we're still clearing the tray, so we're good. We've got a problem here that this surface again is in the way, so it's going to hide that. And then the reason why we did this little offset curve thing going on here is we're going to do a split with this one now. I'm going to delete away this little tip. And if I now loft between these, it will become apparent why we did that. Just loft all these together. Fill in our final few holes. And you can see now we've got an angled surface, which when there's an actual handle in there, this angled surface will allow you to kind of scoop your hands in to pull the handle out. So there was some logic in what we were doing. Now these little details are kind of minimal indents into this surface. So I'm going to split that one with these curves. I should have joined those curves together beforehand, but not a big deal. Edit, select our curves. They can go on a curves layer now, don't need them anymore. Now we can pick these details. And we can do an offset surface. Flip the direction. They only drop down by 2 mil. We've got solid turned on, so press enter, explode them, delete away these top surfaces, don't want them anymore. So I'm just going to undo, sorry, a couple of times undo. Before we've got our split, I want to add a couple of radiuses to these curves. So edit, select curves. We do need the curves after all. Join them all together. Radius, very small, of 1 mil. Just makes things look a little bit nicer. We're only going to do 1/2. There's no point in doing all of these, and they're going to just mirror them across. These kind of inclusions of radiuses and things everywhere often got a duplicate in there somewhere, so delete that. Okay, what's going on here? We've got an extra set of curves we don't need. So back to our radius. These inclusions of radiuses here and there are primarily for production reasons. Sharp edges don't tend to come out of molds nicely. That also will make your models look more realistic as well when you add all these radiuses everywhere. Mirror those across, we're not having to do that 100 times. Pick our surface once more. Split now with our nice curved lines. Edit, select our curves. Put them on the curves layer. Pick our objects once more. Offset. That was a curve. Offset surface we want. You can do them in this order. You can type the command first, then pick your surfaces. Flip the direction. Explode them. Delete away the top surface we don't want anymore. And we're starting to get towards the point of a fairly detailed piece. We need to do an underside. It's got no thickness to it right now, so that's the next thing we'll do in the next lesson.